Hello, everyone. My name is Riley, and today I want to talk about the movie Captain Marvel. Now, I apologize ahead of time. I don't have very much control of the sound in this room. It's not really set up like a studio, but there's a video I wanted to make, and this is what I have to deal with, so I apologize for issues with the sound. But I want to talk about the movie Captain Marvel and toxic feminism in particular. And the reason why I want to talk about this, why I'm making this video, is because I think it's a topic that's political, but not something that's necessarily great for a podcast. I think this is great as a short form video right here, just off the cuff, you know. And another reason why I want to talk about this is because it's a topic that's important to me. You know, I really care about superheroes. I have a whole bunch of shit in front of me. I like the movies, I like the TV shows, I read the comics, I play the video games, I buy the merch. I got two superhero wallets right here. Look, Wonder Woman's on the front of this one. I buy toys. Look at this shit. I have a Aquaman tech deck. I have an Iron Man and a Batman Hot Wheels. I have a fucking Avengers chapstick here. And I have three spinners. I have an Iron Man spinner, a Batman spinner, and a Green Lantern spinner. I fucking care about superheroes. This shit's important to me, and I love the MCU. But unfortunately, Captain Marvel is not a good movie. And it's not a good movie just for movie reasons. There's political reasons, too. Now, I want to start off by saying that I don't care about anything that Brie Larson said during the promotion of the movie. She said some stuff about how she doesn't want white old men interviewing her for promotional purposes. She wanted to, like, diversify the people promoting the film or interviewing her and doing, like, the press on the movie, which I have no problem with. It's not something I necessarily agree with. I think that you should be welcoming to all people, no matter the color of their skin. But I can separate the art from the artist. You know, it's the same thing. Like, that's the same thing as what, like, Kevin Spacey. Like, I can watch a Kevin Spacey film and still enjoy the film, even knowing that he may or may not have done terrible things. I don't know if that's alleged or if it's been proven or not. But, you know, assuming that Kevin Spacey's a terrible person, I can still watch his movies and enjoy it because I can separate the art from the artist. Same thing with Brie Larson. If she said dumb shit before the movie, I can still go see the movie and enjoy it if it's a good movie. This movie, unfortunately, Captain Marvel, is not a very good movie. For the movie reasons, it didn't have very good writing. The main character was boring. The scrolls were wasted. I didn't like what they did with the way Nick Fury lost his eye. I think overall the movie just, for a movie about humanity, it felt like it didn't have very much humanity in it. It just felt very shallow and formulaic. Unfortunately, I think overall it brought down the quality of the MCU. And quite honestly, it kind of lost a little bit of hype for me for Endgame. I'm still excited to see it, but knowing that now Captain Marvel is going to be like the main character taking out Thanos, and she's going to be supposedly leading the MCU in the future, it kind of bums me out a little bit. But anyways, this is a political channel. Let's talk about the politics behind the movie. So this movie is a perfect example, almost perfect example, of toxic feminism. There's one part in the movie that I think does good feminism, and that's when they're talking about how when they were both in the military, there was a ban at the time. The movie takes place in the 90s. There was a ban at the time that prevented women from being part of combat in the military. And that was some good commentary on that because, you know, it's relevant to the time that the movie took place in, and it's like discussing like a progressive political idea in that these women still tried to be in the Air Force even though they weren't allowed to be in combat, and they found other ways to be, you know, productive on their own. And I think that was good. I think that's a good way to show women standing up for themselves. But the rest of the feminist themes in the movie I think were very toxic. For example, all the men in the movie are either dumb or evil. Carol Danvers, who's the main character, she's Captain Marvel. Her father told her that she couldn't do things that boys could do. There was a man who told her that she was too emotional and she needed to control her emotions. And that same man told her that at the end of the movie, he's like, "This is your chance to prove yourself to me." And then she punches him and she's like, "I don't have to prove myself to you." There were a couple other examples as well. I can't think of them all right now. But my problem with those kinds of feminist themes is that all they are promoting is that men are evil and men are the problem. And like the only thing that they're suggesting for women is to hate men. And I think that's a bad theme. I think that's a version of toxic feminism. I think a good feminist theme is promoting equality and peace and treating each other equally. Yeah, I think that's just really important. I think it's the progressive idea to progress society in a positive way instead of like in the past there have been very many movies that were sexist towards women, but that doesn't mean that women need to make movies that are sexist towards men now and get even. That's not progressive. That's regressive. It's just you're creating hatred between the sexes, and we already live in a time where there's so much like consideration between the sexes, and you're just separating us. You're going to end up making men and women hate each other, and then we're going to have an issue like Japan does, where we have an aging population because men and women just don't want to breed anymore because they can't stand being around each other. It's going to create a lot of issues with society. If you want to promote feminism, do it in a way that promotes equality and peace, in a way for us to work together. I think Wonder Woman is a great movie that promotes feminism in a very positive way. It takes place during World War One, where women were highly discriminated against, and it's about this woman who stands up and proves herself to the people who doubted her, to the men who doubted her. She proves herself as a strong, independent woman who can stand up with the rest of them, can stand up more. I mean, she is a god essentially, and the movie does a great job of not making the men necessarily seem evil because there's good men and bad men in the movie. Like the good guys, Steve Trevor sacrifices his life in the end for the good of several people. It's not just targeting men the whole time, and there's moments where you're like, "Fuck yeah, Wonder Woman's kicking ass," and it doesn't feel like they're attacking men. It just feels like a really like this is an awesome badass woman. This is cool. That's the good type of feminism. There was nothing in Wonder Woman that I felt as a straight white male personally attacked after watching Wonder Woman, but watching Captain Marvel, it's like I didn't. I felt attacked, but it was all I don't want to. I don't want to be one of those pussies. I feel attacked. It's just. It felt like, what are you doing? This is such a negative message to be proposing, and it's just. It's a perfect example of toxic feminism. That's a word. Toxic feminism or toxic femininity, whichever one you want to use. That's something that really needs to be discussed. And there's actually an article that's really good about it. I can't remember the name of the article or the author right now. It was on Mashable. I'll put a link to it in the comments, though, because that was a really good article written by a woman about the same ideas that I'm having right now. Also, outside of the movie, I want to talk about the reactions from some people about the reactions to the film. And, the thing I want to say is anyone who didn't like this movie, that doesn't mean that they're automatically alt-right, that they're Trump supporters, that they're conservative or Republican, that they're racist or sexist. Yes, there are some people who hate this movie because it stars a woman, but that's a very small minority. Most of the comments I've seen that don't like this movie have real criticisms about the movie. Same criticisms that I have about the movie. And just because they didn't like the movie doesn't mean that they're bad people or evil. Like I didn't like the movie, but I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not alt-right. I'm a libertarian. I agree with Democrats on like half the shit pretty much. I'm a full supporter of abortion. I think abortion's one of the greatest things out there. That's a woman's right there. I fully support abortion. I support women being equal with men, and you can't just call us trolls because we didn't like the movie. You can't just call us Trump supporters deplorables. By doing that, you're just separating the political spectrum more, and it's ridiculous. The left is so about being inclusive, and it just seems like they want to support separation and hatred between the two. Whereas I see a lot of conservatives being willing to reach over or being willing to diversify their bubble of like media input. Like myself, I watch a lot of libertarian content, but every now and then I'll check out what Ben Shapiro has to say. But I'll also check out I'm a huge fan of Late Night with Seth Meyers. He's a very liberal talk show host, but I enjoy getting the left input. I watch Samantha Bee. I disagree with pretty much everything she says, but I like getting that input. I like seeing what's going on left and opening up my mind to their ideas, but it feels like a lot of liberals aren't willing to look at conservative ideas and even give them a chance. They just say racist, sexist, and they're done with it. It's pretty ridiculous. But anyways, that's what I want to talk about. The video just hit 10 minutes, so I wanted to keep it short. So main things are toxic feminism, toxic femininity. Those things are bad. You don't want to attack men with your feminism. You want to promote equality, and you want to promote peace. If you just attack men, it's not a good message for anyone. You're separating society. Captain Marvel overall wasn't a very good film for movie reasons, and if someone disagrees with you on opinion about a movie or art or anything that can be slightly political, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad. It just means that they have different opinions than you, and that's okay. And you should listen to their opinions and then give a rebuttal with your own opinions, and let's just have a nice, casual conversation about it without needing to attack or write a million thought pieces about it, which is a little bit hypocritical. This is a thought piece, technically, but there's no need to write a whole bunch of articles about why people who dislike Captain Marvel are racist and sexist. It's ridiculous. Anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Leave a comment letting me know what you think in the comments below. See you later.